If you want to grow your hair very long, healthy, and quickly, you're going to want to do this one thing, just one thing. If you don't do anything else, do this one thing. And if you want to know what that is, then make sure you watch this video all the way till the end, because it is how wearing your hair in a head wrap like this can grow your hair unbelievably long. I use this. My hair is in a head wrap like this probably 80% of the month, and I didn't even realize that this was really contributing to my hair growth. So I thought I'd break it down for you exactly how I do it, the benefits of it, and all the reasons why it will actually make your hair grow. So if that seems like something you're interested in, then stick around. And if you aren't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It is listed right down there, as well as the bell icon. That just ensures that you get notifications every single time I post. My name is Angelica. Welcome to my channel if you are new, and if you are not, then welcome back. It is glad to see you again. Let's get straight into the video. Okay, so one of my biggest secrets for massive hair growth, the head wrap. So let me start by telling you the benefits, why you want to do it, and then I will show you exactly how I got to this point. Okay, so the first reason wearing a head wrap can lead to massive hair growth, it's more like massive hair retention than growth, because there's basically nothing you can do. There's not that much you can do to grow your hair. The problem is retaining length, which is why a lot of people say my hair doesn't grow. I've been natural for 5 years and my hair is the same length. It's probably not that your hair is not growing. Everybody's hair grows. The problem is that your hair is breaking. Once you stop the rate of your breakage, you will basically increase your hair growth. So the first thing is your hair stays super moisturized. So if you moisturize your hair on the wash day, you can leave your hair in twists, you can leave it in whatever style you want to do, but always moisturize obviously after your wash day. Your hair will stay moisturized for much longer because it is all together, it is locked in your head wrap. The hair stays super moisturized because it's not being exposed to the elements or anything. It is completely covered the whole time. So probably if your hair would get dry in maybe 2 days, it would probably stay moisturized for 4 days. And moisturized hair is very healthy hair because it is stretchy, it doesn't break easily, it doesn't snap, and you are not doing anything to your hair. It's just in your head wrap. Which leads me to the second point, which is your hair is not exposed to the elements. And the elements I'm talking about are friction, like your clothes. If you wear your hair down, your hair is probably rubbing against your shirt or against your neck, against itself. If you live in a windy area or you just go outside with your hair down, there's probably wind, which is blowing your hair around, causing friction, which can cause single strand knots, fairy knots, and breakage. There's also the sun. If you're like me, if you go out in the sun on a really hot day or you just walk out in the sun for a while, you can see that your hair starts to change color and it naturally lightens. The benefit is gives you nice natural highlights. The bad thing is it's damaging your hair. Just like heat damage, the sun can damage your hair the same way it damages your skin. So if you are wearing your hair out, I'd still recommend you spray on some heat protectant if it's a hot day, just so it helps a little bit. But if your hair is in a wrap, it will never see that light, it will never see the dust and the wind, it won't touch against your skin, it's just staying in place, and as it's growing, it's not getting disturbed, it's just doing its thing. The third reason why head wraps can give you massive hair growth is it is a low manipulation hairstyle. Now here's the thing, sometimes protective styles and low manipulation styles don't do what they're supposed to do because you're doing it wrong. If you wear a head wrap that is extremely tight on your edges and you wear it every day and you're not protecting your hair underneath, it can actually be damaging. It can damage your edges and your hair can be extremely dry because whatever material you use to wrap around your head is sucking all the moisture out of your hair, and when you take it out, it's just a dry mess. So in this video, as soon as I'm done with these points, you can skip there if you want, but there's only one more point, so you might as well listen to it. You will see exactly how to do it to prevent that from happening. So if you do it right, it is an amazing low manipulation hairstyle. It does not hurt your edges. It keeps your hair hydrated and moisturized. You are not combing your hair. You are not moving your hair around. The only thing you do is take the head wrap down and put it back on. I would suggest doing this like the whole week, especially in a lazy week. You can put your hair in twists, in braids. You can just leave it out moisturized and then go ahead and start doing the head wrap exactly how I demonstrate, and it will promote hair growth, I promise you. Now, a final tip before the demonstration is one that none of us really think about when you're wearing a head wrap, and it promotes hair growth because it is a perfect breeding ground. It's kind of like plants or like the greenhouse effect. Your hair is moisturized, it's wrapped, whether it is hot or cold. Of course, in the warmer months, it's always better. But even if it's cold, the heat from your scalp is spreading through to the rest of your hair. So your hair is in a nice, warm environment, which is a great environment for your hair to grow. So keeping it in the head wrap just does wonders. It has worked for me. A lot of people ask me how I grow my hair out. Like, of course, there's not any one thing. It has to be a combination. Like I said, if you're doing this, but you're not taking care of your hair underneath and you don't drink water, you know what I mean? You won't see a difference, but if you're actually doing it right, you will see amazing results from this. So now let's go into the actual tutorial where I show you exactly how I do my head wrap and what's going on underneath this fabric. Okay, so this is what my hair is usually looking like at this point, usually kept like this. I'm going to take off my scarf and my bonnet. Just know that you are about to witness a mess. And the weather is really weird, so please just try and ignore the light changing. So this is how my hair is looking. It looks ridiculous, crazy. I tried to do a braid out, didn't come out that great, and then when I tried to film it, the light was so bad that I couldn't even post it, but I'll be doing it again, so don't worry. Anyway, under a head wrap, usually like later on through the week, this is what my hair is looking like when it's about to be wash day. It's looking crazy. So now I'm going to show you exactly what I do. Now, if I wasn't going to do a braid out after this, I would actually maybe do more in the moisturizing department. But when it's close to the end of the week, like I'm going to wash my hair tomorrow in the next 2 days, I cannot take myself seriously with this hair like this. This is exactly how I do my head wrap. So I get my spray bottle and I use a continuous spray bottle because I don't like my hair to get wet or too damp. I just want it to feel slightly hydrated. So I'll spray this around the perimeter of my head. And then I do a light misting all over the top of my hair. And it doesn't matter if I had a braid out or a wash and go or braids, whatever. It doesn't matter. I still do the same. It doesn't matter. I still do the same thing. So then I just run my hands along it like this. And I just push in the water that I sprayed on the top. You can see that my hair is not damp. It just looks crazy and super thick. Like even if I do this, it just looks like a maze. Like you can, like I can barely touch my scalp. Like my hair gets crazy. Anyway. So I do this. Then I go ahead and get my brush. I use this boar bristle brush because the bristles are actually really soft. It's not like this is like a really like the bristles are way harder and like I don't know, it's just very stiff. This one is very light, never pulls out any hair. It's just like a finishing kind of thing. And I just go ahead and brush the edges of my hair. And I don't even gel my edges down when I do this, only if like my edges are like really crazy, but I really don't feel the need to. I mean, I like to keep my edges and gel kind of dries out the hair, so I don't use it very often. Okay, so once I've brushed it up, I go ahead and get oil. I'm using this oil mix. If you've seen my video on my oil mixes, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description box below and also in the eye right here. So you can check out the video about how I make my oil mix. So I just shake it up first. See, there goes the light. I put a little bit in my palm, about that much. Rub it between my hands. So it's completely coated on my hands, and then I just go over the sides like this, and then the top, basically exactly the same thing we did with the water. And then we'll go back to basically exactly how my hair was. So what I do is I just collect my hair like this at the top, very roughly. It doesn't have to be neat at all. You just want the majority of your hair to be on the top like this here. And I just take any clip I have on hand and clip it. Then I go ahead and put on my silk scarf. This has nothing to do with what the wrap is going to look like on the outside. This is just for protecting our hair underneath the head wrap. So you guys know my trusty chain scarf. So you're going to go ahead and take your silk or satin scarf and just put it over. And I just do this. Now I used to tie my scarf here and then tie it at the back. But then I realized that every time I would tie my hair in the front, it would give me a headache because of the knot that it would make when I tie. So now I just tie it flat like this and then take it to the back. But before I tie it, I go ahead and remove the clip because it is not needed anymore. And this does not have to be tight at all. Once you get it to the back, you can let it loosen up. This is basically just to cover your hair. It's not really part of the style. Although it does also keep your hair up, but instead of getting like a hair tie and making like a bun or anything, I just prefer to use the scarf to do this. Then I push it off my ears and off my edges. Then I will just tuck it in. Now usually I like this kind of ball to be here so it can shape my head wrap. So instead of just tucking all this inside here, I will go ahead and get my silk or satin bonnet and just put it over the top so it doesn't affect the shape. Now it doesn't matter how far the bonnet comes down, as long as it covers the top part of your hair, that is fine, because this is just to protect your hair. So you guys can see none of my hair is going to be exposed, because most of the wraps and scarves I use are made out of cotton or any fabric that could just suck the moisture out of your hair and dry it. This protects it, and it's a nice soft fabric so your hair is nice and comfortable under here. And then now it's time to do the head wrap. So this is the scarf I'm using today. I know a lot of people ask me sometimes where I get my scarves, but I either just get them from my mom or I get them from the thrift store. I find that the thrift store has the best scarves like all the time. So I will start by just showing you, it's quite a big scarf and I just folded it. I don't know if you can see the fold right here. So I didn't fold it the whole way, because if I fold it in half, it's going to be too short for the style I want to do. So I folded about a third of the way. Put it over the back like so. Then I just double check to make sure there's about the same size on each side. Then I let it naturally fall there. Now I do my head wraps differently all the time and they come out different all the time, so we'll see what happens today. But anyway, I'm just going to twist it on this side and get it round, and you guys will see that I don't tie my head wraps either, because any knot, like if it's giving you a headache, it's probably damaging your hair. So I just twist it around. And then I tuck it. Here. Then I do the same on this side, but going in the opposite direction. And I just make sure that any ends, especially on the second round, because you don't want this to happen. This is going to be covered, so it doesn't really matter by this one. So I just kind of twist it, but the loosest twist. Then I take it around, continue to twist, make sure the jagged edges are all inside. tuck that there as well. If I need to fluff up any areas, I go ahead and do that. Then push off my edges a little bit. And you can see it lays quite flat, and I don't leave much of my edges out, so I don't feel the need to do them all the time unless I want to be extra on that specific day. Not to mention today is really hot, so I'll just be wasting my time. Once I put the edge control on in a matter of minutes, it's going to lift up. And that is the head wrap right there. If you're getting value out of this video so far, make sure to give it a big thumbs up because it lets me and YouTube know that you like these kinds of videos and it will recommend them more to you. And if you didn't subscribe in the beginning, hit my face right there just to make sure you're subscribed, and also hit the bell afterwards. That will make sure that you get notifications every single time I post. Watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!